If you've been having trouble with your sliding door window, it's jumping around, it's not really attached properly, you've come to the right video. I'm Uncle Mark, and I'm going to fix this one on our own. It's on a 2013 Grand Caravan. This should work for, I think, 11 to the newest Caravan of this body style. As you'd put it up or put it down, the window, you could actually see one side would go up faster than the other side. And of course it'd catch up. But basically the window was just kind of flopping around in there, and I didn't want it to break or worse. So how do you tighten it? So from inside here, we're going to try and take this piece off, and it's got to go on an angle. It's just held on with a couple clips. You can maybe see if you can get your fingers in there and to take it off. And I'm showing you how to take the door panel off. This is a bonus, how to take the door panel off without opening the door, because a lot of times they get stuck. The actuator that unlocks it seizes up, and how do you get the door panel off? So that's why I'm doing it with this closed. Although this piece, with it open, it'd be pretty hard for me to film it. So you can see it goes on kind of a different kind of an angle if you're trying to pull it up. And you'll see once I get this off here how the clips are. Pull, it's going to take a little bit of work, and I think a clip is left on there. These are the clips. There's one silver one there and one stayed on here. Let's take some pliers and grab it, give it a pull, and it'll come off. And then we'll just have to put it back in there. So I tried doing it with my handy dandy door panel tool, which I'll put a link in the description for. I seem to use this on everything. Got it off, sat it in there with my fingers, and I'm just going to push it all the way back in. Make sure it's attached there well. Now we come to your door handle. How do you get at it? There's a little bit of trim here that you need to take off. Just lightly pry it, and there it is. You'll see it's just got, again, those kind of clips. There's 4 or 5 of them here, and they fit into these little rectangle holes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so there's 5 of them. Once that's done, I'm going to try and take the switch out of here. I want to do it now because when you take the door panel off, it's going to be a pain to take out. So basically you just press down on that and pull the silver piece out. As you're pressing, you might have to wiggle it. And here it comes. Yours might be tighter than that, I don't know. And I'll just set it back in there. Now there's a T20 torque bit, a little screw right there we need to take out. That's kind of holding the door panel on a little harder than just the clips. I'm just using a torque bit screwdriver. I'll put a link in the description as well for this, as well as maybe a torque bit set you can use with a ratchet if you want. That's what it looks like. It's not an Allen key, it's a torque bit. And I'm going to try and give this a pull. Now, those torque bits they use throughout the van, that one size, T20. All you can do is just gently, well, as much as gently as you can, give it a pull, give it a tug. Again, you could get under this door panel if the door was open, but I'm trying to shoot this so that you can see if the door panel was stuck. Now you got to watch on this right where my hand is there somewhere. Panel's bending a little bit. You don't want to deform it too much, because if you do, the plastic's going to change color. So there's obviously some kind of a clip back there that just does not want to let go. I'll give it another tug here. And we see it's kind of bending there. It's like, you don't want to fold it. Take a look inside here and see what's hanging on. I can see there's a clip down there where my finger is. Let's see if I can show you this one up there. And, oh, it did pop out. Probably if you got your hand behind there and gave it a push, it would come out. And that's the door panel. Now the switch I need because I'm trying to fix this window. So I'm going to pop it out. It's fairly easy to do as well. It kind of came out earlier, I think. No, maybe not in this video. I'm going to squish these little tabs and push it out. Squish the top one, squish the bottom one. Squish and push. It's that easy. And the switch comes out. want to drop it, I don't want to break it. Not too fragile. Move the door panel out of the way. And we're just about there. Now let's plug this switch back in. That way it can roll the window up and down as needed to do this repair, which is the window not sitting in the track properly. And you'll see these little doors here. It's just a rubber access point. You can see the back of the panel there. There's this little triangular one as well. Now we'll just need to roll the window down so we can see our little bolts are. And look at that, there it is. There's one. Grab the window and move it up and down, and you can see how it's not hanging on right. Look at that. Yowzers. Must have just got loose on both sides. So I'm going to tighten that one and tighten the one on the other side as well. And it looks like, I believe this is a 10. Yeah, it's a 10 millimeter socket. I'm just going to tighten it just pretty snug. How's that for a torque spec? Pretty snug. And then we'll have to let it come down a little more with the switch again until this other bolt shows up, and there it is. Tighten that as well. Now, I was pretty sure the window was sitting properly on both sides. It seems nice and tight as well. You want to make it go up and down a few times to make sure that it's not binding. If it is, you may want to loosen those again. Make sure the window is sitting equally on both sides. And then snug them up and then tighten them up. And then you just put these pieces back in. Now they have like an edge that'll go in between the metal there. Sits on both sides, that's just how it's held in there. Easy to do. Just snug it back in there. Clips in. We'll do the same with this triangular piece. And that one's on there. Now if you have to get inside the door, there's a lot more in-depth videos on this. Try and put a link up in the corner as to if you want to go a little further. Otherwise, we're going to try and put these clips back in and the door panel back on. Now if you try and put them in here, it looks like they're not hanging on. Is there something wrong with them? That's what I thought. Just like, no, you have to, as long as they don't look broken, you really have to, you get them in the holder and then give them a real good push and they will actually lock in. Show you what I mean here. So there's nothing wrong with this. See how hard that was to get out? And you try and put it back in though, and it's like, it's got to snap in and then it'll pull out. There you go, that easy. So now you know how that works. This one to triple check. Yeah, no, they all seem to work. So let's put them back in the door panel. So they should just slide in sideways into the hole, or where they go into there. They kind of click in so they don't fall out. They fit in between their, they've got grooves in the actual clip itself. I think we've got an extra one kicking around here somewhere. Got those on there, got that one on there. Are we missing one? It's a different color one on top. And this top part has got a little lip to it. That's going to go into the rubber there still. Now these can break, and it's nice if they're all in there. If you're missing one, I guess it's not a big deal, but if you do break some, you could always go to a local auto parts store, bring one of your examples in, and they should be able to find something that's similar, quite a bit cheaper. You can price them out, see what they're like. Just want to try and line all these holes up with the little fingers, the clips going into the holes. And they can move around a little bit and not face straight in, so you might have some trouble putting them in there. Of course, you want to make sure you hook that top part as well into that rubber. Make sure they all click in there. Might have to wiggle them around a little bit. Once you line 2 or 3 of them up, the rest of them in theory should line up, but you might find that some don't want to. So we can see there's one way down in there. If I can line that one up first, you see it there? Line it up with that hole, and then give it a little bit of a push until it actually clicks in. Sometimes it helps to kind of tap them in. Like I say, if you can get a few of them here and there going in, the rest of them should follow. That being said, this corner didn't want to go in. The corner to our right. It's like, what's going on? Everything else seems fine. I started clipping all this back in here, the power window switch. Make sure you put it right side up. It just clicks in. It only the connector only goes in one way, and then you just give it a little push. Don't have to push too hard. Make sure it clicks so. Then it's locked in place. Make sure the switch is working again as well, just in case. I'm putting it all the way up. I've got that little screw that can go back into the torque. Snug that up. Make sure everything is actually fitting tight. I've got this piece as well. Make sure it goes on the right way. Got those little clips. And you might have to move the handle around a little bit just to get it to fit in there. I was able to do it pretty much with one hand as I'm trying to hold the camera. Thanks for putting up with the camera shaking around a little bit. Not too much room in here when you end up sitting, you know, on the floor and trying to move around. Well, again, the tripod wouldn't really fit very well in here. Be banging it every time you try and move around. But you get the point. Let that all click in there. Make sure it's fitting well. Your door handle moves okay. And that is that. Just have that top piece now to put back on. Just remember which way is right side up and what's upside down. It's actually got a little finger that fits in the one side. If you figure which way that goes in there, you can't put this on upside down. Give it a couple taps. Should clip on. Man, we should be good. Should be. Then I noticed, oh no, there's a seal that's supposed to go on between the door panel and the door itself, this piece, and actually clips in the door panel. So I have to pull the door panel away from the bottom just a little bit. And pretty hard to really show you how it goes in there, but if you end up having that piece of molding come off, it's just got a groove. It can only really sit into the door panel one way, the actual plastic door panel itself. Once you have it in there, then you can push the door panel back onto the door and let all the fasteners click on. And they didn't do too bad. Just checking this rubber molding again. Except for these two at the back here. I couldn't get them to fit in properly, and you can see how they can kind of go sideways a little bit. It is all plastic, of course, so you don't want to force it because it obviously is not going to go in, no matter how much you bang around. So you're going to have to get a long screwdriver or your long fingers and try and just get them to center properly. I'm going to have to do that with some of the other ones as well. Once they're centered, you'll know, and you can just give it a tap and it should go in, and that's done. Thanks for watching. More videos to come.